So let's begin with this new watercolour video. We're going to try and rescue this one. To some people's eyes it might look okay, but actually it's really blurry and very indistinct. It's a bit of a mountain study, but I just want to bring in a bit more interest to this. We've got some distant grey purple suggestion of mountains in the background along here, and then others as they undulate around. Now then, I'm going to use some alizarin crimson, which we have here. I'm going to pop some of that in. Added to a touch of ultramarine blue. Just going to keep that. I'm just going to strengthen up some of these values. I'm going to start from the front, just strengthen up the values from the front. We'll deal with that strange little drip in a second. But this will just sharpen up some of these values. We'll just take that out before it gets too mad. Just spread that in here. So that's going to warm those up and bring them forward a bit, but I shall be touching in a little bit darker in a second. Let's get these in. The next thing I need to do is have some clear water on this number 12 round brush, so we can just blend in and let it bleed through. I don't know if you saw that. We'll just do it the other way around here by just wetting that, and then when we bring in the next wash, it'll just bleed in. So already that's kind of warmed that up. This one is still wet enough, so while it's wet we can go back into it. Let's come in with some cobalt blue. Let's just in here and add this. Creates a nice kind of grey effect, and we'll just pop some in so it can just bleed in to the drip, the mistake that we made, and just let it do its own thing. I'm going to touch in again. I'm going to go for a smaller brush. It's the number 6 Escoda, just because it's clean and I can just wash in a touch of water around the base of those mountains, so you can see that working quite quickly. Just popping in that and just letting it do its own thing. The little mixture here was as a sort of umber mix with a touch of ultramarine. That was a bit of leftovers already there from another painting that I'd done. I'm just gonna bring in a touch more cobalt, and then just, as we say, let it do its own thing. I'm just touching the tip of the brush here. That's a bit better. The mountain was really odd. That side just didn't quite look right. We could fiddle around with some of these mountains, I guess. But what I'm trying to do now is create some different sort of levels of wash, or depth to wash. You can see it's darker in tone here, lighter in tone over here. You can just clean off this brush, just clear water, just dumping in a little touch of clean water in there. We've now got this bleeding going on. That doesn't worry me at all. Again, we're cleaning off some more water, and we're going to drag in. So we want some sharp edges, I can see here, and we want some blurred edges. Always mixing it up. And finally, I'm going to go right into the distance with some a touch of cerulean and cobalt in here. Quite a light mixture. And just pop that in, just to take the eye back a bit. Don't mind dry brush in there either. Could be some distant trees or something. Yeah, there we go. And then slightly warmer. I'll come in here a little bit darker. That's quite dark, isn't it? We'll probably just use that mixture up here in the foreground. It's probably going to work a bit better there. There we go. Leave some gaps in, let it do its own thing again, let it bleed. Just back into clear water before this gets too dry. Just blend this off a bit, and we'll touch this cobalt to this mixture, because we want the cooler colours to go back, not have the warmer colours here. Okay, this area here is looking a bit flat, so we'll sort that out. Let's warm that up a touch. This mixture, the cobalt, the alizarin crimson, and some burnt umber. Let's just see what happens when we dot that in. Oh, that's quite nice. I'll leave a few bits and bobs in there. In other words, slight highlights from underneath on the first wash. We'll blend there. Okay, and then I'm going to wet the back with some clean water along here. And we're going to go in with some ultramarine. I thought that would be quite strong, but because we've wet it, it should blend in okay. I'll just suggest some more defined mountain peaks in the background. There we go. Excuse me. Just touch in, give a bit of variation in there. Pop in some of that mixture was there, the sort of grey mix, which is quite nice, not just all blue. And kind of come in there to the close of this little demonstration. The final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some of this umber with some of the cobalt blue, umber and cobalt, touch of crimson, and here we're just going to darken up some of the foreground. Hopefully you can see that. Yep, got some highlights touched in there. I'm hoping you're going to see that as part of this bottom part. We can't see it, I don't think. Okay, yeah, good. I'm looking in through the camera to see what we can see, and that's actually pretty good. I'll do a close-up in the end, a snap shot, and just show you what happened down below if we miss any. But that's just warmed up there. Finally, I just want to mix up just a little bit of red in here. Just touch in a bit of this umber, a bit drier. But this can be all a bit indistinct. And the final little bit we're going to do, I'm just going to take some water on the tips of my fingers and just flick it in. You can see that? It will create some anomalies, and we don't need to worry about that because when they dry it should create some interesting textural parts. So that's all the painting done. I'm almost done here. My final little thing is to bring in some tissue paper. You've seen me use this before, and just take out, just now and again, just looking at where I want the highlights to come in, just turning it so I don't mix up that. Got some obviously soft edges and some hard edges. That's quite nice there. And when this all dries off, the effect should be quite pleasing. Remember, dark and light, so I'm trying to just take out some light here, some light here, so it's light against dark, creating patches of light coming in. There we go. One more there and that'll do it. So here's the final cut of the painting we've just done. Nice undulating hills, sort of misty effects in the distance, and we've got nice strong tonal contrast at the base of this painting, which pushes everything back. So I'm pleased with this. We kind of rescued something that looked a bit indistinct and that gave this a bit more character. So thanks again. Remember to subscribe and like my videos if you feel inclined. Okay, take care now.